You were not meant to be a slave to the grind. You were not meant to trade your life force for money. You can escape gravity. You can unlock your life. You got this. Let's go.
Welcome to Unlock Your Life. I'm Jennings Smith, your host. Let's get into the show. Some guys approached me about a mobile home park they put under contract. This was out in Chester, South Carolina, which is like rural South Carolina. Very rural. I think there's only a few thousand people that live in the whole town. And there were 37 pads. Of that, there were only 20 mobile homes in the park. So almost half empty. They needed $180,000, $200,000 to buy it, and they could not get it financed. No bank would loan on this property because it was almost half empty. They also needed another $130,000 to $150,000 to move in 17 more trailers. So they came to me and they asked me, hey, do you want to give us $200,000? Can you buy this property? And we'll put up the cash to put in the trailers over time. And I did not have $200,000, right? This was a couple years ago. I did not have $200,000. And my initial instinct was no. But I looked at the deal. It looked great. It looked like there was a lot of opportunity there. I thought if we fill this thing up, it'll be worth $500,000, maybe more. We can refinance all the money back out. We can hold it long term, do the BRRRR model, BRRR, which is buy, renovate, refinance, repeat, and you can sort of get free real estate by doing that. So I pretty much was going to say no. And then I thought, you know what? I don't have to have this $200,000. So I said, well, what would you offer me? What would you give me if I got you this money? They said, well, we can pay you 9% on the money while it's in the deal, and we can give you 50% equity in the deal. And they're going to do the work, and they're going to bring the money to move in these trailers. And I thought, that's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal. So I said, let me make some calls, and I'll get back with you. And I got into creator mode. So I looked at my network. I looked at my contacts of who had $200,000, and I wrapped it up in a bow, right? I researched the park. I got pictures. I built a small little executive summary. I talked about the area. I talked about the business plan. I talked about the team. I talked about the money, the investment. I talked about how much they would get every quarter from the preferred return. I showed the cash flow. I showed the expenses. I showed how we were going to refinance it and get them their money back, and they were going to be able to own it long term. And my pitch was, if you give me this money, I will pay you 9% interest on your money, and I will give you 20% equity of the deal, which means I get to keep 30% equity of the deal. And the guys that are doing all the work are going to get 50% equity of the deal. So I brought it to an investor, and he looked it over. And he agreed. He said, yeah, this looks like a good deal. I can make pretty good money on this thing. So I will loan you, or not loan you, I will invest $200,000 into this deal. And fast forward 17 months later, or I don't know, maybe 16 months later, it was about a year and a half later, we had filled the park up and it was cash flowing pretty well. They were paying my investor the money every quarter, and I was just funneling it over to him. But they called me and said, hey, we got an offer on the park. It's like, oh, really? Wow, you got an offer on the park? Yeah, it's filled up. It's stabilized. It's much more attractive than when we bought it. We got an offer, and I about fell out of my chair when these guys told me what the offer was. $750,000, all cash, close in 30 days. No banks, no contingencies, no nothing. And I'm like, done. I'll take it. They wanted to sell, so they were asking if I wanted to sell, and I was like, sure. So we sold, and we had about $20,000 left in the operating account. Long story short, we netted $425K, which we split up, 50-50, and then I gave my investor his portion of the pie, and I made good money on that deal. And what I'm getting at, what I'm driving at, why I'm telling you this story is to make the point that creators win. Creators make their own luck. Creators make the opportunity. So this opportunity got brought to me, and you can be a passive investor in real estate where you're kind of at the beck and call of the operators, right? You hope that they're going to come to you with a good deal. You hope that the best deals, they're not just going to give all the shares to their friends and family, but you're going to get into the best deals. You hope that they're going to give you a fair shake of the equity in the deal because you're not the creator, right? They are in total control of that deal. If they don't want you in the deal, you're not in the deal. If they don't want to give you a certain amount of equity, you don't get that amount of equity. Now, of course, you can say no, but the point I'm trying to make is you're not the creator. You're not the master of your own destiny in the situation. You're a consumer of a financial product. Look at our full investment system. So you go to a financial advisor, Edward Jones or whatever, and they sit you down and they say the most you can hope to make is 8 to 10%, maybe 12%, but probably 10% long-term over a 50-year horizon, depending on when you go into the market. If the market's high when you go in, then you're probably not even going to make 8 to 10%. And that's what's available to you. There really is no better alternatives. There are no better products because you're not the creator. You're just a consumer. They've created this product. They've packaged it up, and they're making a lot more than 8 to 10%. The investment advisor is making a fee, which they need to make. I'm not against them making a fee. They got to make the fee. But these funds, these massive Wall Street companies that they're funneling billions and billions of dollars into, trust me, they're able to make more than an 8 to 10% return on the money. These companies that their stocks are being bought up by the billions of dollars, they're able to turn more than an 8 to 10% profit. But after the creator takes their cut and their share, the scraps, what's left over to the consumer is, that small level of return. And you got to take it, right? Because you're not the creator. You're not in control. So what if you need to make better returns? What if you need to make 100% return? Or what if you don't have any money, right? What if you don't have significant money to even invest, to even start with? Now, what do? How do you make money when you have no money? Well, let's go back to the mobile home park example. I didn't have any money. I had some money, but I didn't have any money in that deal, right? And yet somehow I was able to own 30% of equity on a $425,000 take. That's pretty good for making that out of thin air, just from creating opportunity, knowing who to talk to about it, knowing who to partner with, and knowing how to package it up. And maybe real estate isn't your game, but whatever your game is, look around you. Creators win. Jeff Bezos, creator of Amazon, winning bigger, at least in the financial sense, than anybody in the world right now. And you look at the guys who create the hedge funds, that create the opportunity. They're bringing in the money. Maybe they're paying the money 8 to 10%, and yet they're generating returns of 50%, 100%, and they're keeping the lion's share of that. And they can, and maybe even they should, because they're the creators. They found the opportunity. They raised the capital. They fulfilled their obligation to the capital, the retail consumer investor, and they're able to take the rest of the upside. Maybe it doesn't seem fair. Wow, the guy that brought 200 grand to the deal only got 20% equity slice of the deal. Yeah, you could say that, but at the same time, if he did not want to take that deal, I could have found somebody that did. That would have been happy. And the guy made 40, 50% return on his money. He was extremely happy with his cut of the deal for being a retail investor, for really doing no work and not signing on any debt or taking a whole lot of risk, other than the risk of his capital, of course. So creators make the opportunity. Creators are taking the biggest piece of the pie. Creators are the ones that are winning. And so my question to you is, if you are not creating, why not? What is your reason for not being a creator? Now, we can't be a creator in every single asset and aspect and facet of our lives, right? We're all consumers to some degree in everything, right? I don't want to build my own car. I don't want to become a car manufacturer. I just want to be a consumer. I just want to buy my truck and go on with my life, right? But if there's something that I'm going to specialize in, So I specialize in multifamily real estate. I raise capital, and I'm a creator in that space. I'm also a creator in some other spaces I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. But I don't want to just be a limited partner investor. I don't want to just save up my money from my job and invest it passively into someone else's deal, because I know that I can make that capital go a lot farther if I'm the creator, if I'm controlling the deal, if I'm part of the deal. And there are some people that are not in that position, right? Maybe they're a high-paid professional. They're a doctor, they're a lawyer, they're a surgeon, whatever. They're very consumed with their career and their job, and they love it. And that's what God put them on this earth, was to be a surgeon. And they don't want to learn real estate. They don't want to create opportunity. They don't want to flip houses or whatever. And so they're happy to be a consumer, but they're a creator in their field, right? They're creating the product, which is a successful surgery, which they get paid very, very well for. So look at the vehicle you're creating in, and is it super valuable? Is it where you want to be? And if it's not, what is it going to take for you to learn to be a creator and to start creating? Switching subjects here, guys. In the last 3 years, I have been able to raise about $7 million in cash. I got a self-storage deal for 50% off retail value, closing today in Alabama. I generated $30,000 in about a week and a half. I got the inside track on a new crypto coin project that was launching, that I got into, that could potentially get me hundreds of X returns, if not thousands of X returns. I bought a foreclosed home in Florida for $32,500. It needs about $40,000 worth of work, but the retail value of it is $180,000 to $200,000. What do all these things have in common? Jennings, what are you doing? Why are you telling me about these random things? The common thread with all of those projects, all of those opportunities, all of those creations, if you will, was social media. And here's where I'm going with this. Guys, 98% of people are consumers on social media. Total consumers. I see it on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, right? They're there. They're looking at every story that I post. They're looking at every post I post. They're never commenting. They're never liking. They're never creating their own posts. They're never creating their own stories. They're just existing as a total 100% consumer of other people's content, right? Just consuming other people's content. There is nothing wrong with that. Right? I consume other people's content on social media. We all do. That's one of the reasons why it was designed. However, it is baffling to me where everyone has the most powerful tool ever created in their hand. The internet and the cell phone, the smartphone, where you can be your own movie producer. You can be your own TV show. You can be your own branding. You can generate influence and allow people to get to know you, like you, and trust you on a massive scale that was never possible ever before in the history of humankind. And yet, they waste it. They only consume. They only look at what other people are doing, and they never create. I look at it as 3 levels of creators. If you want to shift yourself into a creator, and I talk to you about those opportunities because I want you to see the potential of why do I want to do this. I talk to people, Jennings, I'm not a social media guy, or I'm embarrassed, or I don't want to talk to the camera, or I don't have anything to say, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's not true, but the reason you're not doing it is because you don't see why it's worth it. In your heart of hearts, if the why is big enough, then doing it becomes easy. Right? If you knew that, man, if I post on social media for 30 days in a row, I'm going to make $1 million, you'd probably overcome your fear. You'd probably figure out a way to make time to make a post every day for 30 days if you can get $1 million cash, right? So the why that's the reason you're not doing it. Yes, there's probably some self-consciousness there. Yes, there's some whatever uncomfortable with putting yourself out there. But the biggest reason is you don't see the power of it. You don't see how it's worth it. You probably see it to some degree as a waste of time. And you're missing one of the biggest opportunities that I've ever seen. And guys, I'm in a lot of leadership groups, masterminds, multi-millionaires, and I pay a lot of money to be in these groups. And this is the information that they're giving me. Every single group is pounding this drum. Build your brand on social media. Create content on social media. Become a creator. Build a following. Build a tribe. Build a network. It will lead into massive opportunities that you can't completely quantify right now, but do it. And as I've listened to these people in the past, their advice has been pretty solid. And so I'm here passing on advice that I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to get. I'm passing it on to you. So if you're listening to this podcast, consider that. So if you're not a creator, move through the levels. Just start doing it badly, right? Start doing a little bit. Start doing 5 minutes a day. Level 1, all you got to do is comment, right? So many people, they don't comment on anything. They don't like anything. Or, you can do a love, like you can change the emoji to a heart, which is a little bit more powerful, a little bit more effort than a like. A comment is more effort than, a like or a heart. But the people that are creating the content, they see that. They notice that. It matters. You may not think it matters. It does matter. You're helping them. And you're also becoming a giver, right? You're becoming a giver instead of just a taker. You consume content, you leave no reaction, you leave no like, you leave no comment. That equation is not equal, right? You're just taking. So that is the first thing, little minor change, is start being a positive, encouraging force on social media to the people that you're connected with and that you're supporting. Give them a like. You don't have to act like, these likes are $100 a piece and you're going to run out of likes and you don't want to waste them. Like, give them a like. Give them a love. Make a little comment. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for them. Then you can move into level 2. Level 2 is creating posts, right? Start creating posts. You don't have to have a plan. You don't have to have a huge master content and I got to have a video team and all that. No, you don't need any of that. All you got to do is just document what you're doing with your phone. Start with stories if you want to start there. Start with posts. It doesn't have to be this massive polished post. Just start consistently posting and telling the world about what you're creating, right? What are you creating? Even if you haven't done it yet. But let's say you want to flip a house. Let's say you want to buy an apartment complex. Let's say you want to get into cryptocurrencies. Let's say you're studying self-storage. Whatever you're working on. You want to flip businesses. You want to buy landscaping companies. I don't know what you're working on, but you're creating something. Start telling the world what you are creating. Just say, hey, I'm out here hunting for landscaping companies and I looked at one, but the numbers don't look quite that good. On to the next one. That's all you got to say. You don't even have to post a picture if you don't want to. You're driving in your car. You record a little story. And as you do this, you're going to get better. Just documenting. Then level 3, because here's how it works, guys. You'll start to get reactions. You'll start to get feedback. You'll start to get some results even. Hey, man, you're looking for landscaping companies? My buddy owns a landscaping company and he's looking to sell. Oh, you're trying to buy a self-storage? Oh, yeah, my neighbor, he owns a bunch of self-storage and he's like 80 years old. I think he's probably ready to sell them. His grandkids don't want anything to do with the business. That's the power of telling people what you're doing, and what better medium to do it than social media. I was at a life group kind of Bible study thing the other night. Every single person in that life group knew what I was doing. They knew that I had worked out. They knew that I had, that I was buying a self-storage thing. They knew that I was buying a new car, on and on and on. This stuff, I had just documented it. Right? And so they all knew this stuff about me. And so, yeah, does it matter to them? Could they give me anything useful from that information? Maybe, maybe not. But there's somebody out there that's watching what I'm doing and they want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of the next opportunity that I'm going to present. So as you do this, it's going to encourage you to move into level 3, which is creating a brand. This is where you're getting a little bit more organized, where you're posting consistently every day. You have an objective. Like, I want to have a fund. I'm going to raise $1 million. I'm going to take the $1 million and I'm going to flip houses with it. And I'm going to split the profits 50-50 or whatever you're going to do. You have an objective. Or I'm going to become the multifamily expert in my space. I'm going to build a Facebook group, which is what I did. And it's going to have, bring a lot of opportunity and a lot of capital and cash flow to me from mentoring and also from investors and people that want to bring me deals. That's where I got that self-storage deal, social media. I had a Facebook group, guy in the Facebook group brought me the opportunity. I loved it. We partnered together, bought the deal. So creating a brand, which is where I'm moving into, right? I've just now made some serious commitments into building my brand with Facebook ads and a marketing company, a PR company, news articles, et cetera, et cetera. And that's, it's more effort and it's more work. And I don't want you to start there, right? I want you to start with, just start commenting, start liking, and then move into level 2, which is just creating consistent content, just telling the world what you do. If you only do that, you will get results. You will see the power of it, and it may encourage you to go further in building a brand. It may not. It may be enough, but it's better than doing nothing, just being a strict consumer. Because your social platforms are an asset. They are just as much of an asset as your house, the equity in your house. They're just as much of an asset as the equity in your business. They're just as much of an asset as an apartment complex that you own. That's a bold statement, and I mean it, right? Your follower count, your engagement, it is an asset. You need to see that as a physical asset, just like your stock portfolio, your real estate portfolio, your cash in the bank. And you need to work on it. And it's free to build it. For the most part, you can build it. Now if you want to massively scale, you got to put some dollars behind it, but you can start building that thing with zero capital, just your own energy, your own thoughts, your own creativity, and it will grow. What do I mean by this? Well, imagine you have a product, right? Let's say you created a fitness band, like this rubber band. It's a cool rubber band and you can use it for stretching exercises and tension and whatever, right? You've got the manufacturer. You can create it for $1 a band. You can sell it for $8.99. And yet, who is going to market that thing? Who's going to distribute that thing? Who's going to put it out in the marketplace? The band is not that valuable. The ability that you got it manufactured for $1 a band is not that valuable. It's not that hard. Yet, if you get, I'm going to date myself here, but like Kathy Ireland or Billy Blanks, the Tybo guy, or some massive celebrity. What if you got Kim Kardashian to have your band on her show, or if she posted about it on her Facebook or Instagram, and she's like, oh, I love this exercise band. It's awesome. And then her sister's like, oh, well, what kind is it? Oh, this is, Jennings's band, and it's amazing. Boom. Sales will explode, right? So she is valuable, and that's why she has $1 billion brand. That's why her sister could create $1 billion makeup company, because she has eyeballs, she has attention, she has a following of people that like her. It's not that they made the best makeup in the world. They probably don't make the best makeup in the world. And it's not that they make the makeup the cheapest and they have the highest margins. It's not any of that. It's because they have the most attention. They have the most eyeballs, and eyeballs and attention equals sales, and sales equals profits. Profits equals money and more attention. And so when you're building your brand, there are going to be people that want your followers' attention, and they're going to be willing to partner with you to get that attention. Just this week, I was approached by a firm who has an amazing opportunity, and they need $2 million. They want $2 million. And I've worked with these guys before. I went up there. I saw their operation again. I met the whole team. I looked at it, vetted it out. It looks like a great opportunity. and I can get them the $2 million. And because I can get them $2 million, because of my brand, because of my reputation, because of what I've built, I will be able to monetize that opportunity by significant amounts. I will make significant amounts in this because I'm going to be part of the creation team of the deal. And the guys that bring me the deal, they're going to make a lot of money too, because they're the creators. They found the opportunity. They built the team. They're putting it all together. And the retail investors are going to make good money too. So it's a win-win-win. But the point is, I did not even have to find that opportunity. I did not have to build that team. I didn't have to do any of that. But yet I'm in this discussion because of the following that I have through social media. So nothing is lost that you're doing. Even if you pivot your personal brand, even if you completely change businesses, nothing is lost. It is the most powerful thing that you can be building today. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. That's all for today. I appreciate you. Remember, this week, start going. Unlock your life. Peace.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.